is your ball game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose in overtime for the second time this year to the Kansas City Chiefs, 30-24. It all came down to a coin flip. This is the second time this season that the game has gone to overtime. The opposing team got the ball, and the opposing team won it on the first drive, and Baker Mayfield never saw the field. Let's talk about this game. First things first, offensively, I thought the offense did some good stuff. Baker Mayfield was 23 of 31, 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 20 rushing yards on the game. I thought Baker played a pretty good game. He didn't turn over the ball, worked with what he had offensively. I thought that was fine. Running-wise, 19 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown, averaged 5 yards a carry. I thought Sterling Shepard had a couple of really nice plays. He finished the day with 69 total scrimmage yards on the day. That was good. We didn't see... This might have been like the running game's worst game in a while. The running backs didn't produce a lot today. Bucky Irving had 24 yards rushing, 10 receiving. Rachaad White had 19 yards rushing and a touchdown. He had 16 yards receiving. Sean Tucker only had 11 yards rushing. So that is what it is. Receiving-wise, Kadon had 77 yards and a touchdown on 11 targets. He is the number one option in this offense in the passing game. That is what it is. That's good. Besides that, like, Sterling Shepard had 4 catches for 48 yards. Trey Palmer had a really nice 19-yard catch at the end of the game to put them at the 1. I thought that the offense had a great final drive to tie up this ball game with like 30 seconds left. People are going to talk about whether or not they should or shouldn't have gone for 2. I mean, either way, it is what it is. I think either decision you can make an argument was the right call. Defensively, this was a kind of a get-right game for the Chiefs offensively. Kind of. Mahomes was 34 of 44, 291 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He was sacked 4 times. Kareem Hunt had over 100 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. He had the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Travis Kelce had 100 yards. DeAndre Hopkins had 2 touchdowns. Samaje Perine had a touchdown. Vita Vea had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hits. Kalijah Kancey had 2 sacks today. It's just the Chiefs made a few more plays than the Bucs. The coin toss went their way in overtime. I thought the Bucs played one of their better games recently. Like, this was a good game for them. And it is good that they were competitive against the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. But this was a winnable game for the Bucs. Absolutely, it was a winnable game, and they lost. And on one hand, you can say, hey, they competed against the undefeated, on paper, best team in the NFL. Okay? And I agree. I think this team is still playing hard. They're still playing football to go out there and try and win for their coaching staff and for each other. Okay? I completely understand that. Okay? But this team does not know right now, this season, how to win games. I mean, they just don't know how to finish up games. I mean, in that fourth quarter, the Chiefs scored 14 unanswered points before the Bucs came back to tie up the ball game in the fourth quarter. So on one hand, it is good that the Bucs, go and are competitive against the best team in the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs, the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions. That's great. That aspect of it. But also, you've now lost 4 out of your last 5 after starting 3-1. That's bad. That's really bad. And 3 out of those 4 games, you could have had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning. You lost in overtime against the Atlanta Falcons. You lost again against the Atlanta Falcons in a one-score game. And then you lost in overtime again against the Kansas City Chiefs. This has been a very, very tough season for the Bucs. And they just aren't finding ways to win games right now. They aren't finding ways to either hang on or come back. Such an interesting stat here, by the way, on ESPN was Todd Bowles, I believe, was 1-9 as a head coach when trailing in football games. So this is just a team that doesn't know how to close out games right now. They don't know how to finish out games. I know 2 of them kind of come down to like a coin flip in overtime, but the defense should be trying to get a stop. This is the second time in an overtime game where in a winnable game, first drive of the game, the offense goes right down and scores. While I do give them respect for being so competitive against a team of the caliber of the Kansas City Chiefs, it is very frustrating how much this team cannot close out games. Josh Hayes got picked apart a lot in this game, a lot. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Bucs don't have the depth right now. They don't have the depth right now to be constantly competing. They don't. And it's frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating. It's frustrating that this team cannot close out games right now. That's very frustrating. People can blame the refs. Sorry, I was going to say the Chiefs. People can blame the refs. People can blame the coin toss, whatever it may be. Look, you don't get that coin toss in overtime, go out there and get a stop. Right? Thank you, by the way, Tristan Judd for the $5 super chat. You guys rocked it hard. Baker and company going to go on a tear. GG Bucks. Thank you. Good game to the Chiefs. It was a good game. But I'm tired of saying, well, it was a good game, but the Bucks lost in the end. We've said that 4 out of the past 5 weeks now, dude. That's so frustrating. Oh, the Falcons overtime game. Man, good game, though. They lost. Second Falcons game. Oh, man, good game right down to the wire. But they lost. Kansas City Chiefs game. Oh, man, good game right down to the wire. But they lost. They aren't finding ways to win football games right now, be it defensively, be it offensively, whatever it may be. Going for 2, by the way, is a Todd Bowles decision. That's not a Liam Cohen decision. But even taking that, right? Even taking that and setting that going for 2 for the side, that's going to be a question. If you didn't get it, you would have lost anyway. It is what it is. This is just a football team that is not finding ways to win right now. They've lost 4 out of their last 5. It's not great. They're not in a great spot right now. They're playing the San Francisco 49ers after this. I said it before. Look, the Falcons are 6-3. Right now, they're going to win this division if this continues. And the Bucs are going to finish with a 7-8 win record, whatever it may be. If the season continues on this trajectory. I think that this is a football team that is still playing hard for their head coach. I think that this is a football team that is still competing to the very last second, but they are not finding ways to win. And you can have as much heart as you want, but you got to go out there and make plays. And the Bucs just aren't making enough plays to win. They're not making enough plays to win. Simple as that. They're not. I know that injuries are an issue, but lack of depth has also been an issue. We've talked about that on the secondary. We've talked about that in a lot of different ways. I think that everybody has a hand in where the team is at right now. I think the players do. I think the coaches do. I think the general manager does. I think everybody has a hand in where this team is right now with these struggles. The playmakers aren't making as many plays. The coaching staff isn't always putting their players in the best positions to win these football games. And the front office hasn't built up enough depth to veteran depth at that to account for the injuries that have happened. I think everybody has a hand in where the Bucs are at right now. Okay? And it is what it is. Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose another game. Another heartbreaking, frustrating game. And they move on to the San Francisco 49ers, and we will see if they can get a win next week. But tough loss. We'll see how they rebound. Go Bucs.